Hi, Sakul.
Hi, good afternoon all.
Hi.
Hey, Rama. Hey, Rama.
Close but no cigar. My computer almost picked the right microphone, but not quite. Happy Friday.
It is.
Yeah, moment too soon either. So, um, so yes, the quorum builds. I don't think Yogesh is going to be here this week. He's out for a few weeks, um, and so I'll cover for him. Um, and when we're just working through the document, I think we're getting really close. Um, to having it ready to submit. And when we think we're ready, I'll start the submission process with the steering committee. So, um, with that, do we have any opens before we jump in?
Related to the document, Drew, kind of going forward from our previous call, I noticed we didn't have any like a definition section for DPC in this document. Did we want to, uh, have a section for that?
Uh, yeah, I think. I mean, I'm open to it. I don't have a strong opinion. And then like I think long term, what Mita did for some of our other documents is she pulled out a separate uh, glossary. And we have multiple documents now pointing to this kind of standard glossary of terms. And I think it's maybe a little late to do it for this doc. I'm open to Mita's ideas. Maybe we just add it here and there, and then eventually we move this document to use kind of our independently contributed glossary of terms.
Sorry, I just joined, but was it to pull in was the discussion to pull in the glossary into this document? Is that it?
Well, I mean, no, I think it's more the other way around. But the original question was, we don't have DPC in the glossary, and so I'm open to adding it if people think we should, or we can just mention it's a PCIe feature.
Yeah, we probably are going to have to just point to the SIG, like.
Yeah,
right,
well, we can
add.
say DPC is a downstream port daemon, and it's used to reduce the impact of fatal errors in PCIe. See the spec for more information, right? We can say something like that. Yes, but because we're not trying to reinvent anything, we're just just saying what it's for.
Why is that question came generally like it is referred in the PCI spec? We are using DPC but not in the definition. What is the
We just didn't describe it. That's all.
Yeah, we
But
have several mentions of DPC in this doc to Rama, so I
Okay.
just wanted to know if it made sense to,
So
because we
Okay.
have the glossary and
in
As
the
we are
in the
speaking, I'm just adding it.
yeah,
in-
let's just
okay.
add it.
In the references section, did we mention the SIG spec or not? I mean, otherwise, that if it's there, then everything's there.
Okay. While Anil's adding that, we'll come to your definition in a second, Anil. It is there. Like we do link to the PCIe SIG. And so we can just refer people to the SIG, right, for the details of DPC, but we can describe at a high level what it is here. Um, uh, but uh, but I guess my question was, I think short term we should leave the glossary in this doc, but long term, what I would think we might want to do is merge this glossary with your separate document and pull it out of here and have a standalone glossary document that we contribute. But not now because we're so close to being done. Like let's just get this done first.
So right now, the standalone glossary is merged. I wouldn't
Okay,
have to do anything to it because it is merged between the
awesome.
FMFM and this one. So, when we are submitting this, we can submit the glossary as well.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's going to get out of sync again.
Yeah, and then what we can do is as soon as we submit these, for the next version, we'll pull, what I'm proposing is to pull the glossary out, link to the separately submitted glossary.
Okay.
So if that's not controversial with folks. Okay, I'm gonna go down to the DPC. So I think I'm going to add another space after the paragraph to be consistent. Okay, I guess that's fine with me. I mean, people may have questions, but they can go read the SIG or the spec. Are folks okay with that definition?
Yeah, it looks okay to me.
Yeah, it's more just kind of reference, but yeah, should be fine.
Sounds good. Okay, so Mita, I want to call you out for doing an awesome job reviewing the document. Thank you. And what I did is I went through all your straightforward grammar things and double checked them and accepted them just to save time here. So the changes are minor. Remember, that the version history is tracked. So, if you want to see the changes before I went and accepted Mita's grammar stuff, you can. But like if it's just grammar, I don't think it's controversial. Anything that looked like it changed the meaning or there was an open-ended question, I left it and figured we just come back to it here.
So
So
changes are minor, but the impact is major.
yeah, well, there's some of them were more significant, so I didn't touch. But if it's just cleanup,
No, it's good. I mean, I appreciate it.
yeah, I really appreciate it, Amita. You did a great job. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to scroll through. There was a question Mita had that I thought was important for us to glance at. This is in the problem statement, and we talk about creation of component error logs, interpretation of component error logs, and this is a good question. What do we mean by correlate logs gathered by software such as machine check banks? And what I was imagining when I read this was with more detailed CPER logs, because the OS sometimes will gather, some high-level standard data, and then there may be something else in the system that gathers more detailed data. But it's also useful, in my dreams, I would have a unique signature that if I had an out-of-band error log, it would be in the out-of-band error log. And then if there was an OS crash dump that was also associated with that error, it would be in the OS crash dump. And if I had an angry customer as a cloud service provider that said, my OS is crashing, we could tell them, go grab this number from your crash dumps. And they could give us a series of numbers. And then we could look for the hardware error logs that had the same number. So that's just a dream, and we're not really talking about that yet here. So we can either delete this or clarify it. What do people think?
It might be useful to think about this in terms of first, what data are we collecting? How do we want to format that? But a separate piece, independent of that, but related, is analysis. So the first step is gathering information. The second step is analyzing and coming to a conclusion. And to me, this document is focusing more on what data do we want to collect and what format and information are we looking for. We're not yet ready to move to the analysis stage.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's mentioned here, but
Yeah.
so maybe I should just delete this sentence.
I think so. Like, I mean, putting aside the, whether it's important or not to do, like the sentence just doesn't seem it doesn't connect to either what's before it or what's after it. What's after it connects to, what was before it. Yeah.
Okay. Anil, I see your comment. We can just delete that line too. That's fine with me.
Yeah, it's a little bit too strong, right?
Yeah, I agree, right? Like, so I guess just as a general note, right? I think we should avoid stating things like this is currently what's happening, right? Because we'd like this requirements document to be, stable for a long time.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree. That's why I'm fine deleting it. And I assume Anil is fine with me deleting it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So good catch, Anil.
I mean, good catch. Mita is looking at it and then he just glanced over it.
Yeah, I really mean it. You've spent a lot of time. This is a 55-page document now, so thank you.
Yeah, and by the way, this is a good thing just for rest of the team especially who are joined later. Please take a look at it because you're looking from a third eye, fourth eye, fifth eye, right? When we glance over it or review it every day, we might miss out things that are so obvious, mistakes or gaps. So it's good.
Agreed. So Mita, do you mind? Let's see. Oh yeah, you talking about making it consistent with the wording in the out of band section?
Yes, I think so. I'm also trying to open it up on my side. Sorry.
Let's see. I'm just going to copy. What I'll do is copy the other sentence up so we can compare the two sentences.
Yeah, I thought I was trying to do that. Maybe I missed it there.
Let's see. Where? Gosh, I'm spacing it. Okay. Oh, here. I'm just going to temporarily copy this up, and
I
yeah.
think that the only that particular second sentence is the one need to be consistent because we discussed about, right, and then consensus was that what I wrote was wrong, was not correct. We just have to change it, and we missed it changing it. Or I missed it.
Let's see. RAS configuration. Okay. I'm just going to copy.
But we had fault management that's relevant here though, right? We don't have fault management in the out of band section.
The whole document's fault management, though. And out of band fault management enables, right? This is all fault management. It's see, it says here's the
It was highlighting.
right, like
Yeah, RAS configuration, error logging, RAS action, error injection.
and now this says I think it's consistent now. And it's just managed through the M-band management agent.
And one question, Anil, like you mentioned, like without any out of band agents, right? What do you do with the fatal errors?
Well, we said they could coexist. So you can the in-band and out-of-band methods can coexist. So you might be mainly in-band, but you might be out-of-band for for fatal errors. We're not telling people they can't use both.
Right.
And we are also not saying that you should use only one.
Exactly. You might use only one, or you might use two, or you might, whatever. But you've got to figure it out. You got to figure out how to do the out of band if you use in-band. Or sorry, you've got to figure out how to deal with crash dumps if you mainly do in-band.
Yeah, the reason I mentioned is in-band fault management system goals. In that section, it calls out like no assistance, without any assistance from BMC. Maybe you want to clarify like non-fatal errors.
No, I mean, I was trying to be consistent with the out-of-band management section also, because that's how that is called out there also, right? And then we kind of give examples, such as in-band methods are useful for this, and
I guess the way I would look at it, Rama, is that if you're doing whatever you're doing in band, it is without the assistance of the BMC, I guess. I think you could probably, actually, here's what I would recommend to Neil, is we might just delete that.
That line is like a little bit dangerous.
And then maybe the in-band method does work with the BMC. You could have an in-band collector that on a reboot went to the BMC and says, hey, do you have anything for me? Did I miss something?
yeah, and then just be consistent in the out-of-band section also. We should make the same kind of thought process.
Yeah,
Because I think out-of-band section.
Out of band, we have to not rely on the OS for anything because, well, maybe not. Okay.
No, I disagree.
Out of band also. I don't think you'll build one pure in-band out of band.
Exactly.
Like only recoveries are through in-band. Like if you want to build full
Correct
out of band.
Yeah. So we should not communicate this message through this document that we are recommending do everything with one way.
Look at what it says, though. It says manage through the BMC. So, I mean, we are doing this through the BMC. We're not saying the OS isn't involved, actually. So I think that's okay.
Actually, like this for us, like internally also created a lot of confusion. Now we are calling one RAS solution. Whatever you approach, like calling in-band, out-of-band, it added a lot of confusion, like internally.
No, I mean, we created confusion to begin with by initially calling that, okay, we are going to do only out-of-band, right? That itself was a confusing thing.
Yeah.
I think
And now we're correcting it.
The next page itself says that in-band and out-of-band are not mutually exclusive. I think we actually just described it.
Yeah.
Next page.
I think it's fine, and I don't think there's anything to change in the out-of-band.
Yeah, now it's clean. I know. I think earlier text in the original document was different.
Out-of-band really does need the BMC, at least in our description of this document.
Yeah.
There's no getting around it, just like in-band needs the OS.
Yeah.
Just a quick question on the out-of-band. You said out-of-band fault management enables CSP and handle errors in bare metal usage model.
Yes.
Is this just bare metal usage model? But this can apply to any usage model, though, right?
It does, but it's
bare metal OV seems mandatory for CSP fleet management.
Yeah, like there's not a good other way to do it with bare metal. That's really kind of what it's trying to say.
Yeah, but her point, which is correct, is that's not what the sentence says, Drew.
Yeah, I follow you. I mean, and I hear you, Tanya. I was explaining you what I meant, but I agree with you. Let's fix it.
I think what we want to call is, as an example, bare metal, right? Not the out-of-band fault management enables CSPs to log and handle errors. And more specifically, for example, bare metal use that, like that.
So I would suggest as follows, right? I think that's probably right. Let's take the sentence out of where it is because it's not actually describing out-of-band fault management, and stick it at the end of the paragraph and say, for example, out-of-band management, right? Because like the rest of the paragraph is describing out-of-band fault management.
Yeah, I think I like the idea. Yeah, good.
Okay, I put it to end, and let me see.
For example,
or one.
Maybe one key use case for out-of-band fault management, right? And maybe you can even make that a separate paragraph, right?
Or use model, just be consistent. Yeah, use model is bare metal.
Oh, okay. Sorry, hold on. Let me just wait. Let me get that. I agree with you, Neil. User model, right? That's what we're calling it.
Users model.
Usage model.
Okay, thank you. I need to get it right. Okay.
Yeah.
Out-of-band fault management is with for CSPs to log bare metal errors.
Yeah.
For gosh, I'm sorry. Okay. I don't know. I mean,
You can reword it. The intent is that, right? And
yeah.
you can start with, for example, bare metal use model. Bare metal uses model is one of the way out of band. Or sorry, for example, out of band management methods can be used to implement a bare metal use model.
okay.
I would say allows CSPs to log and handle errors in bare metal usage models. So
Yeah.
That's fine
allows.
too. Yeah.
I do think it's important to make clear that that's an example.
Yeah. For example, start with for example.
Because right. If we just say it without saying that, then it feels like we're saying that's the use.
No, I agree. I now that we've added, I like this wording fine. I agree with you.
Yeah. I think now you got it clean. Very good.
Yeah. Tanya, does that address your point? Hopefully we.
Yeah. This is what I was trying to get to. It's not just for bare metal.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because we may use it in other like what we're looking at. We can't afford to do it twice, so we'll do it once. Do bare metal for other usage models too.
I mean, to be clear, if you want, you might actually say it that way instead, right? One key use case for out-of-band fault management is to enable a uniform fault management infrastructure, regardless of I forget what we're calling it.
That can even support bare metal.
That can support all usage models, including bare metal, or
something,
right?
No, that's what I'm trying to avoid. If the moment you make that statement, right, you give a wrong message. Out-of-band methods cannot be used to build a uniform solution for all use models. Sorry, can't.
It can't?
Yes.
Why not?
Because you need kernel handling, okay, and recovery flows and all that is all in.
No, but that's not fault management.
Why not?
That's error handling or error management.
That's the OS reaction to errors, and we're not hiding. The OS, like I think the thing that the differentiator here is that today OSs react to errors and do something, but that doesn't mean that we've correctly figured out what RAS action to take or what thing to repair or something like that. It just means the OS reacted to the error.
No, the OS reaction actually is a RAS action. When you do page offline or do the EDR recovery, that's a RAS action.
There's a difference between error handling and fault management, right?
Okay, then call that out. Then I'm okay. If you want, since we made that differentiation, right? Then we can say fault management. We can build a uniform solution. However, error handling will still require. Right?
Yeah. Okay. So I think I see your point, Anil, right? And I think it's worthwhile maybe making sure that we've got a crisp distinction of fault error. I thought we did. I thought we added like faults, errors, and failures definition and put those differences in, right? So Neil, I think that's part of what we did is to make that distinction, right? So that then when we say fault management, it explicitly excludes error handling in the right. Yeah, there.
One question, Vilas, let's say, I know we are for sake of what is fault handling means, what is error. If we want to deploy a system into fleet, whether it's a hyperscaler or enterprise system, right? Okay. The goal is to build a resilient and serviceable system. That means you need some OS software stack help and recovery because you don't the goal is to give value to customer, right? For RAS goal, right? Yeah, I know for definitions it looks good. Like as a implementation as a hyperscaler or somebody, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No, but I don't actually agree, because all of the nodes that you deploy, certainly all the ones that use x86 processors,
Mm,
make a distinction between fault handling and error, or fault management and error handling. Like it's already just baked into how the processors work, right?
mm,
And so when we're like at the end of the day, you need all of those things, right? I don't think no one is arguing about that, right?
yeah, yeah.
It's just the tasks are distinct, right? And so, I think it's useful in a requirements document to be very clear that the tasks are distinct.
So just sorry to interrupt, Vilas. I think we had several discussions, and I volunteered. I don't know if I share here to put together a sort of flowchart or block diagram clarifying my understanding of error handling and fault management and how I differentiate, which I hope is aligned with what we have been discussing. If you don't mind, I can share here so that.
Well, let's actually, I want to take a quick step back. We need to get this document submitted for in time for the global summit. And so let's be very careful about what we cover now versus what we schedule for later. I mean, if we're gonna do a fundamental redefinition of something, that could delay this. And I'd really like to get the in-band stuff out there and say, look, it's published.
Yeah, that's fair. So go back to the statement, Drew. Let's just
Yeah, so let's not make that too much changes there, right? Let's keep.
Yeah, I want to get the document out, Anil, and it's in your interest too, right? I mean,
Yeah, no, I agree.
Mutual interest to get this published.
Yeah.
So I think if you just keep it as it is, right, and just say stick a for example at the beginning, I think that's fine.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
Let's not talk, and we can then after aligning on this document and getting it out, right?
Yeah.
Let's discuss about as a next topic to really define crisply what is error handling, what is the fault management, what is not error handling, what is not fault management, right? Make that very clear distinction.
Well, and I'm sympathetic to that, because one thing I'd like to do, there's been this notion that people keep coming to me with, oh, the fast actions. And the fast actions are typically things that are done in the OS.
Hey, Drew, sorry to interrupt. Let's go. Let's come.
If we have that discussion, we can solve that problem.
Yeah. Let's continue here. Let's finish.
Okay.
Remaining comments.
I don't think. I mean, like it's mostly clean. It's just a reference.
So by the way, the font somehow, or maybe the spacing in this table is a little bit looks weird.
Which you're not looking at the same table I am. Where should I go?
Go to the table called corrected errors. It is in section 3. And for some reason, the spacing and all that is messed up. I don't. Maybe just a formatting issue.
I think that what this is right justified. You see, this edge is consistent. It's called right justified, and it just spaces the text out. So somebody went through and right justified things. I don't care.
Can you fix it because it looks weird to me?
Well, we're gonna have to do that to the whole doc, I think.
No, this is only in table. For some reason, these 3 tables. Okay.
I mean, that's all it is the justification. So yeah, let me make sure nothing's centered. I don't think any of these are centered. So I can make them.
I don't know. It's just me or everybody else is having difficulty when reading with this lot of space in between.
I'm used to it. I mean, it's commonly done. Most books are typeset with right justification, right? So that's why it's been turned on by someone.
If everybody okay, then okay. I mean, I can manage it. It just looks like something is typesetting issue.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. It's done. So if it's important, I don't care. I mean, like I don't care what people want. I'll do it, either one.
Does anybody have any concern?
Just leave it, right? It is this way, in the spirit of just getting this out, right?
Okay,
Okay,
cool.
I'm gonna undo that then.
All right, undo it. Let's go, keep going.
Okay. So I am going now. Yogesh is going to be out for a little while, so I'll take the action item. I didn't realize that I needed to work on this, but I'll take the action item, take a pass at it. Now look, we made progress last time. I think we're pretty close.
So the verbiage all should be in place. The diagram is the one we need to change. Oh no, actually diagram is already changed, right?
Well, I did that. I put the new diagram in, and what I did is I tossed the little number stars on, but not really carefully. I just kind of said, here, I've set you up, Yogesh. But some stuff came up, so I can take a pass at it because I've already thrown the drawings in.
Hey,
So
I do
it's
think the
really
new drawings look
it's really
Sorry?
changing the location of those number icons, right? The text has been there before we all
Yeah,
reviewed it.
but the drawing
right?
changed a little, so there's a little bit of tweaking needed because it referred to things that weren't in the old drawing. We
Got you.
But
Okay.
I don't think it's a matter of changing the meaning. It's just a matter of making sure the number's in the right place. And like if we have a RAS API agent now, we mention that rather than whatever we had before, because the agent wasn't there before. So that's what we've got to do. It's not a big thing. So I'll take that action item. I apologize for not noticing that sooner. Okay. I think we're really close. Now, Charlie graciously was going to work on resets, but we talked about this, and Charlie, you missed the conversation, but we really want to do that. But that's going to be a complicated discussion, and I don't feel like we need to nail that for releasing the M-band document. So
Agreed. I think that, the reset topic
it's going to be big.
it can get very complicated, especially when things are out of control and crashing and somebody kicks the power cord and who knows what's
Yeah,
going on. So I think in my mind, the reset we want to talk about are the intentional ones.
yeah.
And that's a much more bounded than kind of any event that can happen that somehow crashes the system and resets. There's an infinite number of different, I mean, a plane could hit the server center and cause a reset.
Well, and I think it's like warm reset, soft reset,
Yeah,
hot reset,
exactly.
power on reset,
Yeah,
purse. I mean, these will all be topics, but I just think it's going to take
sure.
a while.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
Agreed.
does anyone object to us deferring this to the next version? Okay, I'm going to put a note and I'll copy it out of here into a doc, like,
It's already in the generic glossary doc, so we can pick it up there.
okay.
I'll just put a link to it, I guess.
I'll just delete it for now then. And then well, I think we're going to come back to your doc anyway, Mita, like as we merge these two. So and my proposal would be let's get this one submitted first, and then we'll submit the glossary because we can only give the steering committee so many things to review. And we're going to get a pile here at the end. And so then once we've got this one submitted and in the pipeline, then we can come and do the glossary.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm just mentioning that it's already there in the generic glossary as something to work on next.
Okay, so I can delete it and we'll get to it when we come back.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Mita. Okay, and then let's see. I agree with what I'm reading. I think I must have written it. Stuff that keeps me up at night. So, but I don't know what to do with it.
I think if I remember, we said, hey, this is all was there before. Since we added a bunch of stuff, let's revisit it and see if some fine-tuning is required here. That's all. And Drew, you say you wanted to kind of review it.
Yeah, okay. I tell you what, I'll take an action item to sync this with the
I mean, We have few minutes. We can just all collectively read through and clean up right now. It's not a very big section.
Yeah. Okay.
And-
I'll,
and-
Yeah.
I'll take back
Hey,
my-
yeah.
Let's look at it.
Andrew, yeah, sorry. Can you just I can't believe I can't find this again, but can you share the link to this document? Like
You can't find this doc. You really
I
did.
can I
You had a-
really can't.
You
Yeah.
had more of a vacation than I thought.
Yeah.
Actually, the best thing, Drew, is to just show the directory path.
Yeah.
That
Like-
way, you don't have to share the link all the time. Because one of the things with Google Docs is when you share the link, it's the encrypted link, and you have no clue free where which
Right.
folder and where it is.
And I'm
So-
I'm like looking in the folder where I think it is, but I can't find it. So like
yeah, exactly. If you
yeah.
want, I can share and show you where it is.
Yeah, the way to look is details, and it's in hardware fault management infrastructure requirements.
Yeah, but it doesn't tell you, the
Yeah, it
whole path,
doesn't-
right?
where? Yeah. Clearly I'm in the wrong
Yeah,
place.
I can share and show you.
Okay.
You want to do that, Drew?
Well, why don't you just paste the drive link to the folder? I don't know, I mean,
Sure.
really, like, I want to review the section. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not-
yeah.
I'm sorry,
Keep
I'm
going.
hardcore focused on getting this published, so
No. Keep going.
Sure,
I've
sure.
got
I'll do that.
I bookmarked the thing you just
I
said.
don't mean to be rude, Anil. I just want to get this done. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
And,
going to do it right
Neil,
now.
just paste the link to the folder or something. That'd be good. Thanks.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I pasted the link to the doc. He'll paste the link
Yep.
to the folder. Between those, you should be able to find it.
Yep. Now I got it. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So, let's see. I mean, I think this is still true. That we don't want them to have race conditions, and clear errors out from under each other. And error logging registers are read anatomically, so like there are many more. And the overwrite rules are important. One thing I would say is both the kernel and out-of-band solution instead of BMC. Because the out-of-band solution may not be the BMC, it may be a microcontroller, inside the SoC. So if that's okay, I'll say OOB
And I think
solution.
it should
Hey,
be
Drew, you're looking
in-band
at the
versus
section, chapter 8, right?
I'm sorry,
Are you in chapter 8 or in appendix B?
Appendix B.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah. And Mita, I think this is what you're about to say, but instead of saying kernel or OS, just say in-band management
Yes.
agent or something, right? Yeah.
So let's see, in band and if, and I don't have to say something in both. I can just say if both.
Yep.
And out-of-band solutions log and clear the errors and shared logging registers.
On the previous sentence, Drew, I'm not sure it's correct. Like error logging registers do not log the next error until previous errors logged by them have been cleared. I don't believe it's true. Most of the time you're gonna have prioritization depending on severity, and you usually log the latest error and have a flag to say, hey, they have
So
been.
if that's the case, then that's a problem. That is because here's the problem, and that's a bad implementation for a corrected error. So if you've done that, then please don't. Here's why: if you have a flood of corrected memory errors, then you'll never get a consistent error because what will happen is as you're logging the error, the next error comes, and so now you have an inconsistent error across all those error logging registers. So you really need to log the first one for a flood of errors.
You can, it can be programmable, but I'm just saying that error logging register frequently do not log the next error until previous error I don't think it's accurate. I'm just like reacting to
It
the
really is.
statement.
It really is accurate. Now it's of the same severity, but it really is accurate. And the implementations that don't do that, what happens is the people that naively read those error logs will get a register from one error and then read the next register and another error has occurred and it's been overwritten. So now you don't get consistent error logs. You have no idea what's going on.
But you have to do that based on severity. Like if
So,
you have a
no,
predictable
okay.
error,
And the way that works is, yeah, and we can put that in here. The way it works is that if a more severe error comes, that's true. It's common for
it's
a
gonna,
more
yes,
severe error to overwrite a less severe. But
yes.
that's not the common case. The common case is a flood of the same severity.
It's not, I agree, but so I think we have to be careful there. That's why I'm reacting to that sentence. The way it's
I'll
written.
clarify it. I can
Thank you.
clarify the
It should be
overwrite.
just next error of the same severity or next error of the same type until previous errors of that type.
Well, I'd like to make it clear, so we just say severity is a, yeah.
But not only
Yeah.
that, right? The hardware could be configured to log last error, right? First error versus last error. I know that it's not a good practice or design, but it should be possible to do that for debug purpose, for example.
I'm going to include that as a problem, but sure.
Well,
And it's,
yeah, maybe let's, I mean, right now though, this seems to be mixing two different things, right? One thing is a race condition between in-band and out-of-band. And there's one solution to that. The other thing, Drew, that sentence is bringing up is kind of a race condition between in-band and a new error, right? And like your point is you need to avoid that race condition by following those override rules. I would suggest that we actually split that up into two separate paragraphs and two separate
agree.
thoughts.
Yeah. Versus OOB and two overwrite races. Okay, I agree. Okay, so Seb, I mean, I think if it's confusing, we should clarify it. Seb, are you still here? Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
So I'll work on that.
Okay.
But I really, really am worried about people that have overwrite races and don't even know it.
But that's, yes, sure. But that's not even like, that's not exactly like the problem statement, right?
Right.
And
But-
it can
but-
be a recommendation. Architecturally, you're allowed to do it either way. We can have a recommendation in the case of like, certain type of errors.
Depends on the
it's-
architecture, but
Well, hold on. Actually, let me zoom out on what Seb is saying. Is it the intent of this section to impose requirements? If so, it should not be sitting in the end after Appendix B.
I think that the purpose of this was to prevent people from making silly mistakes. But
Right.
but I guess the way of doing that is in the form of requirements. So
That's right.
It's
So-
not requirement. These are more like hints. We don't want to call, because we can't detect requirements for the implementation purpose. Right? Things where we were feeling that it was implementation specific, then that's why we moved it here.
I think we should treat it that way too. And if you decide to deviate from these, you do so at your own risk.
Yeah, more of a hints. Hey, there are some implementing considerations that you should look at. You should think about or consider. That's it. So preventing considerations for preventing race conditions is the right title, right? And then
But I don't understand something then. So we're saying in this document that if it's optional if a given product supports both in-band and out-of-band, fault management, it is optional to prevent race conditions between the two.
No.
Okay, right. So then it's a requirement, right?
no, I mean, so race condition prevention, actually, we already called out as a requirement somewhere. I think this is more of a considerations of, maybe providing a little more clarity in terms of what you can consider to prevent that. That's it. We are not saying that we are not prescribing that this is it or this is the way to do it, right?
So I think we do say we have to avoid race conditions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then,
these are just hints for doing that.
Then let's annotate that in the main text and just say see Appendix B or something in the main text. And then if the race conditions are specific to in-band and out-of-band, then make this text only about that.
So I thought we are trying to point out two different race conditions. One is
Yeah.
about the in-band and out-of-band. That's a separate one. And the other one is the error overwriting the previous one. But I do share the same concern as Seb has. The statement is not clear at all.
Well, we're going to fix it.
Yeah.
I took an
And-
act time to clarify
Yeah,
that.
I just don't think that like a kind of random statement like this that's not tied to, or a random thought like this that's not actually tied to something that's in the, you know,
Right.
Oh,
rest
it's
of the
tied.
document.
It's tied. I'll make sure it's tied.
Well, no. The preventing the race condition between in-band and out-of-band is tied. Like there's, you're right. There's a clear statement, and we just
No,
need
but
to.
it's true with even with the overwrite rules is that you've got to factor that in when you design your in-band or out-of-band solution. You
But
don't-
And I'm
but
not disagreeing, but where in the document is that requirement listed?
and also I don't understand the race condition here as well. Meaning it's not a race really, right? So let's say we have a error storm of corrected errors. What you are saying is only the first one should be logged and not the later ones. Or someone chooses to capture the last one, not the first one. That's an implementation choice, but what is the race?
So the race Drew's talking about is, let's say you have a it's fundamentally tied to the non-atomic reading of the registers. So if you have a status and an address register, if the software goes and reads the status register, you really want the address register to remain constant until the software has read it, right?
And then the way you handle that with a severity change is you read the status register, see what the severity is, go read all the other stuff associated with the error, and then when you're done, you go read the status register again and say, is it still the same? And if it is, then you know it wasn't overwritten if the severity didn't change. But if it did, then your error log is toast and you reread everything.
But this is also true for even corrected and uncorrected one, right? So let's say there is no error storm, but we have a corrected error, it got logged, and then within split seconds, we got an uncorrectable, and let's say the status register shows uncorrectable and the address is still having the correctable.
No, that's not the
So guys, we are talking about two kind of different things here, and both are important. One is this non-atomicity concept, where hardware logging errors while software reading sequentially, and there could be a race there. The other is when there is a storm, multiple errors are being logged, and some registers, the first error information may be lost if it's overwritten. So we need to sort that also. So there are two different problems. And we want to call out the considerations to handle both the problems differently. That's it.
So before we move on, I really want to hear Vilas's answer to what Tanya just pointed out.
Well, I was describing it earlier.
Yeah.
But Vilas, do you want me to do it or you want to do it?
No, I mean, it's if you keep the oldest error of the highest severity, then there is an unambiguous way for software to know that it got a consistent error. If you do not do that, then there is not an unambiguous way for software to know that it sees a full, clear, consistent error. Right.
That's right.
Yes,
And
yes.
so-
I would absolutely agree. I mean, first error has to be logged of the cigarette.
That's right. But my general point, I don't think anybody here is arguing about that particularly. My point is simply that if that doesn't show up as a requirement in the doc, I don't think we should just stick in some sentences in this appendix talking about it. Right. That's actually my point. The race condition in-band and out-of-band, that's fine. So that's very clearly called out. So Drew, I think either just, put the override stuff in the main thing.
In the previous one, and it was in it for that intent, and I'm loath to take it out. So I think I can explain it more clearly. But there really is there's a problem in that designing your out-of-band solution, you've got to make sure that you have some way to read the data consistently, even if another more severe error
Right.
comes in while you're doing the out of band read. So
I don't disagree, but it's a separate requirement than managing race conditions between in-band and out-of-band.
yes, well, I think we're gonna have two race conditions, and they're separate.
Okay.
That is
That's
what
fine.
I wrote here.
Okay.
If you look at the note for the update.
Yeah, that's fine. But then that second race condition also needs to be called out in the requirements to say you need, like, it's a requirement to manage override race conditions. Right. And then here you can give some more detail.
So I think what I'm capturing, the three concepts we need to clarify. One is race condition between in-band, out-of-band agents touching the same registers. The other one is this atomicity, not automatically reading versus hardware writing. And the third is when there is trauma of same severity errors. How to avoid the race condition.
Yeah, and I'm still a little bit confused on the second one.
Yeah, second one is very clear, understood in the industry. This is non-autonomy, right?
It's pretty straightforward, Tanya. You just read the status register first when you log the error.
No, I understand that. I'm saying the example we used, let's say the storm of correctable errors.
It's not a storm related.
Not a storm of correctable errors. It's an overwrite with a more severe.
Just two errors only. Let's say just two errors happen, not even storm, maybe time apart, right? By the time software, let's say there are 4 registers, and software start reading register 1, 2. By the time you finish 2, the second error comes. Okay, now second error, hardware independently is going to update all 4 registers. Are you with me? Are you with me so far?
Well, let's be a little bit more specific, Anil. Are we talking about like we had a corrected error and then we had an uncorrected error?
It doesn't matter, right? Just take correctable only.
Let me give a very specific example. So 2 corrected errors, and assume the hardware logs the latest error. The software reads the status register. It sees that it's a corrected error of some type. It reads an address register, sees the address. It goes to read a syndrome register. Before it reads the syndrome register, the second error comes in. It's the same error severity, and so it gets logged. So now the software sees the syndrome error register from the second error.
Correct.
It goes back, and at the end of this, it goes back and reads the status register and says, oh, the status register hasn't changed. So I'm still seeing a corrected error. Great. But now it has an address and a syndrome from 2 different errors.
Different errors, and you can't tell. And that's why the last error logging is bad if you don't have overwrite rules are important. Yeah.
I've got a rookie architectural question here, and I'm not an architect. But I'll call it a rookie question. Are there designs where the software has to shake hands with the hardware to say, okay, I've read all I need to read. Now you can have the registers back? Because it sounds like what's happening here.
Every architect is like that, Charlie, right? So in x86, in both AMD and Intel, once the software has done all that stuff, it clears the valid bit of the status register, and that tells the hardware, I am done.
You may now you may capture the next.
In the ARM world, you do a write back, and I think you write back a 1 to the severity of the error that you read, and that clears the thing, right? So it's similar.
Okay,
right?
but what I think I'm hearing is there's different registers. So when you have an error, information is in different registers, and it's only the status register that has to be cleared.
That's right. The clearing,
everything else is atomic.
Clearing,
and this is atomic operator. Okay, and this is the issue. Really important. This is the issue of reading atomically. Is that
non-atomically? But yeah,
non-atomically. Yeah. Okay, so really, what's happening is the kind of the set of registers that have your error information are not all lockstep together. Because once the software clears the status, before it's read anything else.
You read the status first, and you see that you got an error of a certain severity. You go read all the other registers, and you build an error log from it. Then when
Why
you're
don't-
done, you read the status again. If it didn't change, if the severity is the same, then you're like, hey, I know it hasn't been overwritten. I can now clear this error knowing that my log that I've captured is good. At that point, all the registers will capture the next error.
Okay, but why can't I do it backwards? Why can't I read all the other registers and then the status register last? Because then I've captured everything. It's all in sync.
Because they could be changing under you. You could have read the first register, you get another error. Now the next register read is from another error, and then a different error occurred. Now the third register read is from yet another error.
So Charlie, if you get a corrected error followed by an uncorrected error, right? If you read the status register first, you know that you're processing the corrected error. And then after you're done, you go back and read the status register and say, whoops, now I have an uncorrected error. So I got to go back and do that whole thing again.
Yeah.
If you start from the end, you don't know which error you're processing. And so at some point in the middle, the uncorrected error overwrites the corrected error and you get, some inconsistent data, right? You get 2 half errors instead of a full error.
Yeah, let's take this offline because Vilas, I hear what you're saying, but I still have further questions and it's too much detail for us to be talking about now.
And Charlie, I'll try to make that clear.
Sure.
But I'm also happy to chat. You and I chat occasionally. I'm happy to
Sure.
chat with you about this and walk through it because it's really important to understand. Like one of the first things I do when I talk to a new chip team is I say, hey, do you all have error overwrite rules? What are they? And then we start talking about them, and I'm like, hey,
Okay.
capture a consistent error log from your chip. And sometimes the answer is no, and you got to go fix something.
So I think my general point, Drew, right? Again, like the discussion we just had highlights the fact that the describing overwrite rules properly is complex and needs more than a 2-sentence, thing in here, right? So we just need to be,
And Vilas, maybe this is a topic, and Drew, maybe this is a topic for one of these scenario documents.
It sure is.
Yeah.
But I guess the other thing I would say is, Anil, Vilas, what I'll try to do is summarize it, but we need to get this document out. So let's get something reasonable.
Yeah, agreed.
Do the best we can, and then I'm even willing to write a start for the doc, and it's a scenario doc, or maybe it's something we add to a future version of this, because it does sound like a point of confusion, and it's worth getting it clear.
Just like poison.
And I want to warn people: do not log the last error and allow overwrites if you want to be able to make sense of your error logs in the face of a storm.
Yeah, and I think that's fine, but given that I just took a look, it's not mentioned anywhere else in the doc. My suggestion would be just yank that part of it out for this release, and then we could come back and add it back in the next release.
Yeah.
I'm okay. By the way, before we run out of time, Drew, I need to call out something. If you scroll back in the example scenarios.
I'm sorry, where?
In the example scenarios, the poison, looks like there is some inconsistency.
Okay.
Yeah, right here. If you scroll down now, right?
I don't know what I'm looking for.
Yeah, so we are describing in this section data poisoning example with illustration of framework out-of-band error handling, which is something we just talked about. Right after that, illustration of framework in-band error handling, poison creation to fault analysis. I think that section, Yogesh has a comment here.
That was my action item, Anil. I'm going to go back and fix that. Yogesh was going to do it, and he's out of town, and so I was going to clean that up.
No, after that, in-band. Scroll down, please. The in-band also requires cleanup because
that's the in-band especially needs cleanup. No, that was my point. We haven't done it.
Oh, okay. Maybe I missed it. Okay, cool. So you will take care of in-band out.
Yeah, I'm 100% aligned with you. It's not right. Yes.
Okay, I can help, by the way, on the in-band because
sure.
Or maybe you and I can just offline sync up and
maybe what I'll do is I'll take a pass at it, and then when we have our one-on-one next week, we can go over it and get it right. That'll speed things up for next Friday.
Perfect. So I think let's call next Friday as a finish line.
I would like that. Yeah. So I'll work on those sections, try to get it ready for that, and Neil and I will figure that out. Yeah, hopefully we'll have it done. Let's see
Yeah.
if we can. Let's see.
And then we can give 1 more week for team review,
Yeah.
and then we can submit.
I agree. And thank you everyone for the feedback. I mean, this doc, like, and like, if we can get things like error overwrite rules clear, I'm submitting the poison doc. We're going to build a body of knowledge that's going to help so many people not make mistakes. We're going to prevent problems. So thank you for helping build.
By the way, this is already helping the Linux kernel flow that we describe here. Boy, whenever I share with somebody, they say, "Oh, I didn't know about this thing. Wow, that's great."
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Well, thanks everyone. I've got to drop for my next meeting, but we'll work on it and let's see if we can get it across the finish line next week.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Talk to y'all later.
You too.